The year was 2004. Friends had just ended. Usher was everywhere. The war was on every channel. And Rockstar put a black man from Compton on the cover of the biggest game of the year, set in 1992. The year Los Angeles burned. San Andreas didn't feel like satire back then. It felt current. And the older it gets, the more it looks like a documentary from the last years before everything went permanently online. If you were alive in 2004, your day started on a completely different internet. No algorithm knew who you were, no feed was waiting for you. You turned on a TV, and whatever happened to be on, happened to be on.
Hello, MTV. My name is Adam.
I'm James. We're from the band Maroon 5.
We're going to show you our crib, but it's actually more like a crib in training because it's not ready yet, and we've been on tour for a long time.
MTV still played music. People downloaded songs one track at a time. Everybody had a different ringtone. Everybody had the same celebrities.
It's about to hit.
Usher, 50 Cent, Beyonce, Outkast, and Evanescence reminding every teenager on Earth that life was deeply tragic. They were on every radio station, in every shopping mall, on every TV program. Culture still moved as one giant wave. And in the middle of all that noise, San Andreas arrived.
Remember small change.
Hey, get yourself a beer or something. I'll catch up with you.
Here's the thing about 2004 that everyone seems to forget. Facebook technically existed, but unless you were on one of like 5 college campuses, you'd never heard of it. No YouTube rabbit hole waiting to eat your entire afternoon, which, honestly, thanks for spending part of yours here. No Twitter, no algorithm deciding what you were supposed to care about today. You'd sit down, log on, spend an hour on LimeWire waiting for one song to finish downloading, hoping it wasn't a virus. Tweak your MySpace until it looked exactly right, and then just close the lid and go outside. The internet was already everywhere, but it still felt like somewhere you went, not somewhere that came with you. People were connected, but they still knew how to disappear. Something wild happened, you didn't post about it, you waited, talked about it at school the next morning, on the bus, in somebody's living room, with whatever was on TV in the background. Culture moved slower, but when something actually landed, it hit everybody at once. And San Andreas landed everywhere. The game wasn't competing with 10 apps and 3 streaming services and an infinite scroll. It had the room, and it used every inch of it. GTA was a place, and somehow everybody was there at the same time. Different living rooms, different TVs, sharing the same streets without ever knowing it. San Andreas was the best-selling game of 2004. Not just in a slow year with no competition. It outsold Halo 2, which, if you were alive in 2004, you know what that means. 5 million copies in the US in 3 months. 12 million worldwide by early 2005. And on PS2 specifically, the console that defined that generation, San Andreas is still the best-selling game in the history of the platform. Nobody touched it. Over 27 million copies total across all platforms. The PlayStation 2 became a cultural landmark. For millions of people, it was their first real gaming machine. It turned gaming from a hobby into something that felt universal. It was everywhere. It sold more than 160 million units and became the best-selling console ever made. And in a way, it couldn't have happened anywhere else. The most influential game of its generation lived on the console that defined it.
The funny thing is, San Andreas was already looking backwards. The game takes place in 1992, which sounds a lot further away than it actually was. In 2004, 1992 wasn't some distant era. It was 12 years ago. That's it. The music was still around, the fashion wasn't completely gone yet, people still remembered the riots, people still remembered the headlines, and Los Angeles was everywhere.
Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the man who will begin the Olympic Games playing
journey through Los Angeles. Sylvester Stallone's Rocky is inspired by baseball sports history. Let's welcome Sylvester Stallone.
Movies, music videos, reality shows, celebrity gossip, MTV Cribs. You couldn't escape California if you tried. Palm trees, lowriders, freeways, that warm orange glow every movie seemed to put over the city. Even if you'd never been anywhere near Los Angeles, you probably thought you knew Los Angeles.
California, here we come, right back where we started from. California.
And that's where the timing gets weird, because San Andreas wasn't really a game about 1992, and it wasn't really a game about 2004 either. It landed in the middle, right between two versions of America, old enough to remember the world it was parodying, early enough to arrive before the internet flattened everything into the same feed. Think about how most people experienced Los Angeles back then. Through movies, music videos, reality shows, news reports. You got fragments. A helicopter shot here, a police chase there, a rap video at 3 in the afternoon. San Andreas stitched all of it together. For a lot of people, it was the closest thing to walking around inside the version of America they'd been watching on screens for years.
After 5 years on the East Coast, it was time to go home.
Welcome to Los Santos Airport.
What's up?
Carl is sweet.
What's up, sweet? What you want?
This mama. She's dead, bro.
Back then, things still had places. Music lived in music stores. Movies lived at Blockbuster. Video games lived on a shelf in your bedroom. The internet lived in a computer room somewhere in the house. You went to things. You came back from things. There were gaps between them. A song ended. A TV show ended. The computer got turned off. The world wasn't constantly updating itself. And maybe that's why 2004 feels so different in hindsight. The edges were still visible. You could tell where one thing stopped and another began. San Andreas arrived right before those edges disappeared.
What the fuck?
You cool now, huh?
Get that fool!
2004 felt like the future. Walk into an electronics store and the future had a color. Blue. Blue screens, blue lights, blue logos. Every device looked like it belonged on a spaceship. Every commercial was selling some version of tomorrow. Faster internet, more channels, more storage. A phone small enough to disappear into your pocket. A plasma TV hanging on a wall like a piece of alien technology. The future felt close enough to touch.
I'd like my hard drive to fry like a mozzarella stick.
I'd like all our family photos to just disappear.
I'd like catastrophic system failure.
Millions of Americans are just asking for a computer virus because they're not nearly as protected as they think they are.
You know, it'd be awesome if my computer could make the sound of a Yeti.
So that's 2004. Friends is over, Usher is on the radio, a flip phone is vibrating somewhere, a burned CD is sliding around on the passenger seat of a car. The news is talking about the war. MTV is talking about everybody else. And in a bedroom somewhere, somebody just loaded up San Andreas for the first time. Nobody knows what's coming next. Not YouTube, not the iPhone, not social media, not the version of the internet that's about to swallow almost everything. For now, all of that is still over the horizon. And that's what makes 2004 feel so close and so far away at the same time. The future is coming. You can see it everywhere. But it hasn't arrived yet.